Great,
Yes,
thank you.
Okay. So what happens with YouTube is if you don't, uh-oh.
Area, I couldn't understand. That's not coming through very clear.
We're live.
Okay, thank you. All right, good afternoon, everyone. We'll go ahead and call to order the meeting of the MPO Policy Board for Thursday, December 14th, 2023. The first item on the agenda is that we will take a roll call of all those present. So John Dennis.
Here.
It says tentative for Kevin Underwood or John Basham. Is either one of those gentlemen on? Okay, does not appear so. Tracy Brown. I see him.
I see him.
Tracy, we're taking roll call.
Here.
Thank you. Larry Leverance.
Here.
Harry Brown.
Here.
Peter Bunder.
Here.
No, Sydney Gary or not. Julie Ginn. I see Julie.
Yeah.
Okay. And I know I see Deb Calder is on, but Deb, I don't think you're here as a voting member. Is that correct?
Possibly, yes. Still learning this gig, so I'm just.
She is officially considered a voting member.
Okay, she is considered a proxy. Okay. All right, Deb Calder.
Here.
Thank you. All right, thank you, everyone. The first item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from the previous meeting. You've all had those communicated to you, and I would entertain a motion for approval.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Are there any corrections or changes that need to be made? All right, hearing none, we'll take a roll call vote. John Dennis.
Aye.
Tracy Brown.
Aye.
Larry Leverance.
Aye.
Harry Brown.
Aye.
Peter Bunder.
Aye.
Julie Ginn.
Aye.
Deb Calder.
Aye.
The minutes are approved. Thank you. The next item on the agenda is Resolution T23-14 to amend the 2024-2028 Transportation Improvement Program TIP. And Doug will be handling this resolution.
Hey, thank you, Mayor. Good afternoon, everyone. The Indiana Department of Transportation has made a request to amend the TIP, and it involves 15 projects. If you've looked through the staff report, you know it is fairly substantial, and I'll go through it briefly. Regarding the projects, 4 of them that are currently shown in the TIP are being updated, and they include a project on 52, overlay project in western part of Tippecanoe County. On US 52 again, a bridge deck overlay over the Norfolk Southern Railroad. On I-65, a bridge deck overlay as well over the Norfolk and Southern Railroad. And then back on 52, replace superstructure over the Gaylord branch. We are adding a project that was actually programmed in the previous TIP, and that is on State Road 28. It's a bridge joint replacement, and that's over the eastbound or the east branch of the Wea Creek. Now, regarding the 10 new projects, I'll go through those. One project is a small structure replacement project, and this is located on the southern side of Tippecanoe County, close to County Road 575 East. And there are 5 new ones, and they are all related. So hold on to your hat. The Indiana Department of Transportation is going to be making changes on Sagamore Parkway, basically from Cumberland Avenue to the Wabash River. That does include basically putting a thin deck over the Soldiers Home on the bridge on Soldiers Home Road. They will be doing some road patching and sealing, especially trying to reduce penetration of water. And they will be replacing and improving the sidewalk structures on both sides. The biggest change, though, is actually in regards to the intersection of Northwestern and Sagamore Parkway, or Special 52. The bridge that you would use going northbound is going to be removed, and that whole interchange will be reconstructed into basically a T intersection. The specific details are in the staff report for that. The remaining 4 projects are basically larger ones. They're either district or statewide and involve lighting, pavement markers, bridge maintenance, etc. The Technical Transportation Committee did review it at their meeting last month, November 15th, and they did recommend approval. And the Area Plan Commission staff is also asking your approval through Resolution T23-14. Are there any comments or questions or concerns that I can answer at this time?
Okay, no, I don't see any questions or, oh, Brian, you have a question?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, thank you.
Oh, sorry.
Doug, question about the bridge replacement with a T intersection.
Mm-hmm.
What was there was a study for that, as I understand it. What was the study's recommendation for that location?
That was one
alternative.
That was one recommendation in terms of removing the bridge and creating a T intersection. Another recommendation was actually, in addition to removing the bridge, actually creating a roundabout at that location. That study was done by HNTB a while back, and that actually is available on the APC website. It's kind of down in the weeds a little bit, but if you want me to point that out at a later point in time, I'd be more than glad to do that.
I just know we've got a lot of traffic in that area, and there's a T intersection I would imagine would make getting through there difficult. So I question whether or not we could look at a roundabout there instead of something, but I just wanted to bring it,
Mhm.
yes, up for discussion to see if I was alone in that thought, or if anybody else had concerns about replacing that bridge with a T intersection, what the traffic would look like there.
Okay.
Gee,
Peter,
that will,
Under?
yeah, that will be a mess, won't it? It will look like everything on 26, and there's the intersection at Jaeger, and then the intersection at Lindbergh, and then another T intersection. Golly, if I had to vote, I'd vote for the roundabout, or leave it alone. You know, this is my last meeting, so I don't get to fight about that. But it'll be ugly.
Or it could be left alone.
Fine with me. They haven't done anything else with Special 52. You can drive right through the potholes. If they'd like to enter into negotiation with the new mayor and the new city staff, be swell. But why would they do that to Special 52 if they didn't have a plan to get rid of it?
Okay. To the Area Plan Commission staff, or Deb, I know you're on the line here. Is if somebody votes on this, because obviously there's a couple people that do vote and have a concern, just so I understand, obviously it's not in our jurisdiction, but is the T intersection, is that a foregone conclusion that is what it's going to be, and this vote approves that this group agrees with the T intersection, or is that still up for discussion? Or Doug, can you maybe clarify a little bit for the people in West Lafayette that this would impact?
Well, it's my understanding that the scope for this is to basically pull the bridge out and to then build the intersection. Now, if there is a desire to rethink that, what we could do is that for these 5 projects that are all related, we could pull these from the resolution at this time and then have a discussion with the district office and then possibly central office. And then if we wanted to move forward with these 5 projects, we could actually then revisit or vote on that at the following month. That would be one option.
Okay. Well, Deb, I don't know. I certainly want to give everybody a chance to have input on this. Like I said, this is kind of unusual. I'm not sure we've had one come up like this in all my years of doing this. Mayor Dennis, would you like additional time to possibly have a discussion with
Yes,
the
actually.
district office?
Yeah, Peter and I are sort of in the same clock ticking boat. We're not going to be here after the end of the year. But unfortunately, Erin's not available today. But I would like to at least discuss this with her and get her thoughts on it. I know that she's aware of what's going on, but I don't know that she's in a position right now to provide any guidance or counsel for this particular meeting. So if we could just put it off a little bit, that would be terrific.
Sounds like a plan to me, and we're more than willing to talk with Aaron and whoever else needs to be there.
That'd be great.
If you need a motion, I'll make one.
Okay.
Yes,
First of all, thank you, Deb. We appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Let's see. I got to think this through. I would entertain a motion to amend the resolution, and then we'll vote on the amendment, and then we'll vote on the whole resolution as amended, I believe, is the proper rules of order. So do I have a motion to amend the ordinance by leaving out? And Doug, do you want to identify exactly what we're leaving out?
I'd be more than glad to do that. It would be, you would see the project on the very bottom on the first page, the project 52, DES number 2301191. And then on the second page, it would be the first, second, third, and fourth projects, the DES numbers 2301193. 2301199, 2301194, and 2301198. Those are the 5 projects that are all related to this.
And so we have a motion. We have them identified. Do I have a second to that motion?
I will second.
Second.
Okay. So now we are going to vote to amend, leaving those designated projects out. John Dennis.
Aye.
Tracy Brown.
Aye.
Larry Leverance.
Aye.
Harry Brown.
Aye.
Peter Bunder.
Aye.
Julie Ginn.
Aye.
Deb Calder.
Aye.
Thank you. The motion to amend is approved. We'll now take a vote on the resolution as amended. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Do I have a second?
I will
Second.
Any further discussions or questions on the amended resolution? Hearing none. John Dennis,
Aye.
Tracy Brown,
Aye.
Larry Leverance,
Aye.
Perry Brown,
Aye.
Peter Bunder,
Aye.
Julie Ginn,
Aye.
Deb Calder. Right, the resolution is approved as amended. So thank you, everyone, and look forward to everybody having those continuing discussions. The next item on the agenda is the 2024 Safety Target Performance Measures, and Tim will be handling that presentation.
Yes, thank you. So this is something that we do every time around this time of year. And what it is that some of the federal transportation legislation requires each state to set some performance measures for the 5 categories that are listed here in the staff report. Those being number of fatalities, rate of fatalities per 100 million miles traveled, number of serious injuries, rate of serious injuries per 100 million miles traveled, and number of non-motorized fatalities and non-motorized serious injuries. So our choice is we can either concur with the State Department of Transportation's targets, or we can choose to set our own. We have always chosen to concur with the state DOT's targets and support those. And so that's what we're doing again this year. And so the numbers for those are all listed here in the staff report. I'm happy to go over these and answer any specific questions if you have any. So I would open the floor for questions or any discussion at this time.
Okay, I don't hear any. Tim, is this something that we take a formal vote on to affirm that decision, or is this just simply information?
Yes, that's a great question, Mayor. This is a little bit unusual compared to some of our other activities. We do take a motion to approve this, but what the motion should say is that we should move to authorize the executive director to sign the letter expressing the support. So I have some text here on the screen as to how we would like that worded, since it's a little bit different from how we typically do most of our other motions.
Might have to make that a little bigger for somebody, unless their eyes are better than mine.
Let me see if I can do that real quick.
There we go. Okay, can somebody read that and make a motion, please?
I'll do that. Mr. Mayor, I would move that the Policy Board of the Lafayette MPO supports the state's performance measures and targets for safety, and authorize the executive director to sign the letter expressing that support.
Second.
Thank you. I have a second. Thank you, everyone. Roll call vote. John Dennis,
Aye.
Tracy Brown,
Aye.
Larry Leverance,
Aye.
Perry Brown,
Aye.
Peter Bunder,
Aye.
Julie Ginn,
Aye.
Deb Calder. Motion carries. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Tim. The next item on the agenda is the APC progress report. Under that is the MPO update. And the first item of that is the Thanksgiving I-65 and US 52 traffic counts, and that will be handled by Doug.
Yeah, this is something interesting we'd like to share that we usually do around this time, in that around Thanksgiving, especially beforehand, you hear on the news on the additional travel that people are doing before and after Thanksgiving. So fortunately, in our area, INDOT has several permanent count stations. We have 2 listed here. The count station on I-65 is located north of State Road 43, and then the count station on US 52 or special US 52 is just west of Paramount Drive. So we've provided the traffic count information for the Thanksgiving time period from 27 to current. And as you can see, listed in the gray shaded area, that indeed on Wednesday, traffic does increase on I-65. And then if you look on Sunday after Thanksgiving, yes, it does increase as well. So the information that is rolled out on the news that there is heavier traffic on especially those 2 days are in fact what is happening in this area on I-65. Interestingly, if you look on the traffic counts for 52, specifically those 2 days, the traffic count, the numbers itself, don't really increase. They pretty much stay the same. I mean, we do see on Thanksgiving Day there is a dip in traffic. So, you know, we do see the major impact on the interstate, but not on 52. So, but we thought this would be of interest for those on this committee that do some traveling, especially on I-65. So, yes, indeed, on the interstate, there are additional people who do travel. Any questions or comments?
All right, hearing no questions or comments. Thank you, Doug. We'll move on to the federal funding obligation, and you'll be handling that also.
Oh, thank you, Mayor. As you can see, the funding report, pretty much nothing has changed. From the previous month, we have obligated some of our federal funds, specifically paying back what we did borrow from the Northwest Indiana Regional Plan Commission. We do have some good news that actually happened this morning. And I'll mention it to you now that if you remember the Morehouse Road project, the first part of it was on NDOT's bid letting yesterday. And the good news is that it received very favorable bids. It was significantly less, or at least in my opinion, than what the engineer's estimate was. It was even less than what we programmed in the tip. So we have received the MPO federal funding obligation letter this morning and have already returned it. The good news is that we did not use all of our federal funds for this project. Yes, the federal funds are paying for 80% of it, but we do have a residual amount of roughly $160,000. So this is rather a unique situation. Usually the opposite occurs where the construction costs are considerably more. So we did get some favorable bids. So next month, we should see those changes reflected in this report. One other bit of information, we are looking at trying to trade some of our 2024 funds for 2025 funds. We have asked the other MPOs in the state for a trade, and unfortunately, there has been no takers. We actually reached out to NDOT's person who is over the local funding yesterday, and she is looking to see what she can do to help. And as a fallback backup plan, if that does not work out, we are planning to reach the NDOT funding side on the highway side on the NDOT funding portion and see if we can do a trade with them. So things are still looking or moving forward and trying to get that trade done. So otherwise, that is what I have to report regarding our federal funds. Any questions or comments?
All right, hearing none. Thank you, Doug, for that information. Hopefully we can find a partner there to trade with. Next item on the agenda is a quarterly project progress, and Tim will be handling that presentation.
Yes, thank you. So I'm not necessarily going to talk about all of these bullet points, but if you do have a question about a project I don't address, please do feel free to ask about it. So the first thing I'd like to point out is that the purchase orders for the River Road at County Road 500 North project are closed out. So that's always good news to hear that those were able to get closed and that the accounting for that project is very, very near to the end. So then the next thing I'd like to point out is the Jaeger Road project. So this information was current as of our last meeting, and that project at the time said it has a planned opening around Thanksgiving. I do believe it has opened. So it is open to traffic, so that's some very good news. Now the next project, the McCutcheon Pedestrian Safety Project, did have a planned opening around December 1st. I'm not sure if that one has opened or not yet. I'm not sure if there's anyone on from County Highway who could let us know about that. I don't think I see anyone who can confirm or deny that. So something to look into. Additionally, the bridges 64 and 65 projects, they have been moved back to a future fiscal year to reduce the local share of the project costs. So hopefully by pushing those projects back a couple of years, they will be able to be funded at a full 80-20 split instead of the county having to bear some extra burden. Additionally, the Bridge 527 project is moving along. There's only one parcel left to be acquired for that. So some good news there. On the Lafayette side, unfortunately, the cost estimate for the South 9th Street project has substantially increased from pre-COVID estimates. So this is something we're going to continue to work with the city of Lafayette on. And hopefully we can find some ways to get them some more funding so that they won't have to bear as high of a share of local funding on that, and we can get some more federal funding into the project. For West Lafayette, the Sagamore Parkway Trail project had an estimated opening date of December 4th. Again, I haven't heard confirmation as to whether or not that did open. And I don't think anyone from West Lafayette Engineering is on either. So something to keep an eye on. And then finally, the Soldiers Home Road Phase 1 project, the completion date for the environmental report was moved back due to a supplemental agreement for a scope change. However, that shouldn't impact the overall project schedule. It should still be on course as has been planned. So with that, are there any questions about either any of the projects I covered or some of those that I skipped over?
All right, hearing no comments. Thank you, Tim, for that. And we'll go to Doug for the NDOT 18-month letting list.
Regarding projects 1 and 2, of course, the first project, Morehouse Road, I've already had a brief discussion and mention regarding that one, and that the project again did receive favorable bids and is moving forward. Unfortunately, the news for the State Road small structure replacement with bridge project over Goose Creek is not. The project cost was over the engineer's estimate. The low bid was $7.19 million. And in the tip, we show the estimated construction cost at $5.3 million. So it appears it was significantly more than what the estimate is. Regarding the projects 3 and 4, the NDOT information for the January bid letting has not yet been posted. And then continuing down, projects 9, 10, and 11, I would like to point out. Project 9 is actually some very disappointing news. And this is regards to the State Road 225 bridge that has been closed for a while. It has been keeping steady at a July 10th letting next year. But unfortunately now it has been moved back to November 14th. So I have already mentioned that to several people I know, and they were quite disappointed to hear that that bridge is still going to be remaining closed for an additional at least 4 months. Projects 10 and 11, have also changed and moved from a July 10th letting to a November letting, and those both are thin deck overlay projects on 52, both the eastbound and westbound bridges over the Wabash River. Now, the biggest changes that are occurring with the 18-month list, if you start looking at project 16, and then if you look at 17, 18, 19, 20, you will see that all of those have changed. You know, for example, project 16, that was scheduled for a 10/9 of 2024 letting. Well, that's now scheduled for a 10/8 2025 letting, moved back a year. And if you keep going down, it, yeah, substantially changes again. On the second page, thank you for scrolling that up. We continue the projects, those three on I-65, move from an October 2024 letting now to an October 2027 bid letting. And then project 24, thin deck overlay project on State Road 28, a bridge over the Little Wea Creek, has now been eliminated. So substantial changes with those projects. Are there any other comments or questions? Oh, I do have one project I would like to point out, even though it's not in Tippecanoe County. For those of you who do travel on I-65 towards Indianapolis, expect this project coming up. I did see this here in the 18-month letting list, is that if you are unaware that on I-65, a new interchange will be constructed for US 52. Those on and off ramps that are currently exist, my understanding, will be removed. And a new interchange will be constructed north of that. That new interchange is targeted for construction, or at least the bid letting, December 11th of 2024. So I know some of us do travel to Indianapolis, and I thought that would be of interest to this committee. Any other comments or questions?
All right, hearing none. Deb, I always give the state a chance. Is there any comments you would like to make over the this information? If not, that's fine too, but certainly wanted to give you a chance if there was something you'd like to say.
No, I don't have anything at this time, but yeah, feel free to reach out anytime you guys do have questions.
Okay. All right, thank you. Next item on the agenda is other business. Is there anything else to come before the board? Okay, at this time, we'll address any citizen comments or do our customary moment to allow any to come in that might, for those that might be engaged with us. So could we start that minute?
We will start the minute right now.
Thank you.
There have been no citizen comments.
All right. Thank you very much. We appreciate that. Before we move for adjournment, just a quick question to Doug or Tim. I will not sign the resolution that you had dropped off at my office since we have amended that and removed those. I'm assuming that's, and that you'll bring a an amended version of that resolution for me to sign?
You are correct, Mayor. Actually, I just opened it up and I started already working on it. And as soon as I get it done, I will walk it down.
All right, thank you very much. I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Have a second.
A second.
We'll conduct a roll call vote to conclude. John Dennis,
Aye.
Tracy Brown,
Aye.
Larry Leverance,
Aye.
Terry Brown,
Aye.
Peter Bunder,
Aye and bye.
Julie Ginn.
Aye.
Julie, you still there? And Deb Calder.
Oh, yep, I'm here. Aye. Can you hear me?
All right, thank you. I did. Thank you.
Aye.
Well, Peter, John, we'll see you. Thanks
Okay,
for all
guys.
you did. We appreciate
All right,
it.
guys.
Hey, thank you. 16
right.
years of building roads, and I didn't hurt anybody.
There you go.
This conference is no longer being recorded.
Yes.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now.